For me, it has always been very important to provide some kind of like alternative direction.
Right.
So we are creating an ecosystem which enhances Waves and allows everyone to launch his or her own blockchain.
I
Change
think
it
in
anymore.
Dubai, I've seen real estate contracts on blockchain now.
We are witnessing the beginning of mass adoption of blockchain technology. AI is like us. It's not something alien. It's not some evil robots, actually.
Hi, Sasha.
Hi.
Welcome to the pod. Your journey has been very interesting, from like trading bots to starting this thing called Waves.
Yeah.
So can you tell us your entire journey?
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here with you. Blockchain is a very interesting technology, and when I first found out about Bitcoin, it was back, I think, in 2013, I guess. Yeah, I was impressed, and I was following the developments because I just wanted to understand what would happen next. And when I understood that Bitcoin wouldn't go away, it would stay with us, I started doing a lot of blockchain projects around 2014 in different areas, payments, investment funds, and around 2016, I decided to launch my own blockchain. It is called Waves. It's a very old chain, by the way, because the market is it was one of the first blockchains, by the way. So probably
Before you get into blockchains, our audience would definitely want to know what exactly is blockchain technology. We
Great
speak
question.
a lot about it.
Great question. Yeah.
So if you can talk about blockchain technology in a simple way.
Absolutely. So not all people understand what blockchain is. Actually, blockchain is pretty old. It's like 12 years old technology, because Bitcoin launched in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not so new, it's pretty old. But at the same time, not everybody understands what it's about. So blockchain is about a pretty simple thing. So it's about creating ways for us to interact through some kind of technical protocols. So what it means in reality, for example, we need some intermediary third party to create different structures. For example, let's not take Bitcoin, let's take some kind of voting, for example. Yeah, so you have some kind of a body that governs the voting process in all the countries. And there is some kind of manipulation that can happen, and a lot of bad things usually happen. But what blockchain does, it takes this process and makes it fully independent of our desires, our involvement. It makes it protocol based. And there is some technology that guarantees that the voting results won't be tampered with.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And this is what blockchain gives you. And
so
actually,
that kind of encryption level is already there in the blockchain system.
Yes, and you can't just change the data later. For example, people voted and somebody just changes the data. You can't do that with blockchain because the data is there. It's called immutability. You can't change it because once it's in the blockchain, it won't be possible to change it anymore.
I think in Dubai, I've seen real estate contracts on blockchain now.
Yeah, in Dubai, they have a lot of projects on blockchain, actually. Even as far as I can remember, Dubai police has a registry that runs on blockchain.
So how is Waves helping people with this? What is the Waves blockchain all about?
Yeah, Waves, probably maybe you heard about Ethereum. Ethereum launched before Waves, 1 year before Waves, and we are technically very different, but in a way, in terms of usability, in terms of applications that people can do on Waves, we're a bit similar. But we just offer a different direction for blockchain development for many years, for 8 years by now. Ethereum is much bigger, but for me, it has always been very important to provide some kind of alternative direction to show people what else can be done. And that's why I started Waves, and I'm explicitly trying to do something new, not what other projects are doing, but something new. Because I think this is my mission, to come up with some alternative ideas. And
That's great. And what is the power protocol? We just like discussed it some time back, the power protocol, which was introduced in 2023. Can you tell a little bit about that?
Sure. It's a great question, actually, because I mentioned voting at the beginning. And in blockchain, in crypto, those structures, collective that you create on blockchain and that can vote for different things are called DAOs. It's a decentralized autonomous organization.
It's like a community.
It's like a community, yeah, governed through a blockchain technology like approach. So what Power Protocol is? This is a way to change those DAOs because they were, I think, a bit too simple. And it was easy to manipulate them and to abuse them. In Power Protocol, you are responsible for your decisions. There is accountability. So there is some kind of KPI. There's some kind of goal that is like set before the DAO launches. And if those KPIs are met, people who voted, who participated in this process of making decisions are rewarded. And if they're not
and this
met,
is all automated.
Yes, it's like on a blockchain. And if the DAO fails, basically there is some goal. We want to, for example, just like be profitable as a business, and we are not. And in this case, people who participated in decision-making process, they are like punished. Their governance power is taken from them.
Okay.
Yes. So and through this, we can filter out bad decision makers and somehow like reward good decision makers. So they have more governance power. Their votes, their voting process is more valuable.
Right.
And through this, we can actually find people who are able to make good decisions. And this is what
But is there any space, is there any case study that you have done at Waves that, you know, that can be interesting for people to understand that how this can function, and probably for brands, you know, how they can use them?
Absolutely. Actually, I think you can run any business as a DAO. It's just starting now, you know, so people didn't realize that. But now we can see some applications of blockchain, not only for some kind of online services, but also for offline. For example, there is like several companies who are trying to do ride sharing, like Uber on blockchain. And there is this process of voting incorporated in those systems. For example, ride sharing application. So just like some kind of alternative to Uber. So in this application, drivers will be able to, for example, to negotiate the share that they pay to the payment provider when passengers pay, and you know, so they can vote for things, they can vote for like a new payment provider, and this changes the business model, and you can run any business as a decentralized.
So we can include rewards and loyalty programs, which can, and a lot of people these days are gamifying the process. So what are your thoughts on gamifying for the Gen Z? The next generation,
I think this is
Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Do you think that blockchain would help them, and they will be the most effective people to market to?
Great question. Actually, I think it's coming now. It's just starting, and maybe you heard about meme coins.
Yes.
And there is like a lot of meme coins. People love them, and it's about maybe trading. It's almost like gambling. Maybe it's not so good, but I think they can be used actually by real businesses for some kind of like customer acquisition, and they can serve as some kind of like loyalty reward points, those meme coins. And I think this is starting now. I think in a few months we will see like several big brands launching their own
I think
memes.
Roblox is using it a lot. Like a lot of big brands have... So what is exactly the technology that these guys would be using? Is it blockchain? Is it cryptocurrency? What are
just blockchain? Basically, they can use Waves, they can use Ethereum, they can use some other competitors.
So how many blockchains are there? I know a few. Solana.
Solana is pretty big now. Solana is very fast, and it's like less decentralized than Ethereum and Waves, for that matter, but it's very fast. So people love launching meme coins on Solana right now, because it's easy and they can make a lot of like trades, and it's cheap.
So how is Waves standing out in this market?
So basically there is a problem with blockchains. They cannot process too many transactions.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, there is this is some kind of limitation that all blockchains have, and we as participants in the space are trying to resolve this problem. It's called scalability issue. So blockchain doesn't scale well. It's called scalability because you can have, for example, 100 transactions per second, but you cannot have 10,000 transactions per second. And if we want to have some real world applications, we need to have a lot of transactions because, for example, banks have a lot of transactions.
Yeah.
So technically, we all try to resolve the scalability issue, and we with Waves is trying to do that as well. And we have this roadmap, which I think will help us resolve it faster than other chains. And other blockchains. This is what we're doing now. So we are creating an ecosystem which enhances Waves and allows everyone to launch his or her own blockchain in a very simple way.
Okay.
On top of Waves.
So tomorrow, if I want to build a mall on a blockchain, suppose, and I come to you with come to Waves, and what would be the process?
Yeah, basically, why would you need a blockchain? Because all those famous public chains like Solana or Ethereum, they cannot fit all the applications into one chain. So, and the only way to make it work is to enable a very simple process of launching your own chain. So you come to Waves and say, guys, for example, I have some kind of gaming project. For example, and I need my blockchain to launch my token. And there is Waves community, a community of participants, community of validators who support the network, and they like your project. And you say, guys, so basically I want my own chain, and as a reward, I will distribute my token to you.
Okay. And sorry to cut you, what is a token?
Token is just it's more or less some kind of what in traditional finance is called shares or stocks, more or less. It's something similar.
That's the simplest explanation.
It's very simple. So basically, you have your token and shares or stocks. Usually, they just represent some equity in your company. Tokens are more multifaceted. They can serve as, for example, as some kind of payment instrument, or they can be some kind of a loyalty point analog, something like that. So they can have very different meanings. And basically, what you can do, you're saying to the community, guys, I want to have my own blockchain, and I have this token, which I will be distributing to you in portions if you support me. And Waves community of Waves validators agrees, and basically you have your own chain launched in a few days. And you don't need to run your own servers. It doesn't have to be sophisticated, because now we are facing this moment when blockchain technology gains mass adoption. It's just starting, because everybody has been expecting for this over many years, when this process starts. And now it's starting. And it's not only about Bitcoin or even meme coins. Real world businesses are coming to blockchain space, and they need
a lot
their
of
own blockchains.
fintech companies are also using it. So, I mean, you have worked in the decentralized finance space for a while now, which would be a mix of blockchain and cryptocurrencies and all of these things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, what are your thoughts on decentralized finance? Do you think banking institutions will support it?
I think there's going to be some kind of convergence between decentralized finance and TradFi, traditional finance. Why is that? And I get asked that question quite a lot, and I always come up with this answer, because people want to trade, for example, Tesla stock, not only on weekdays, but also on Sunday. And it's strange, because we have Gen Z generation that trades crypto. They trade crypto, and they find it very weird that they can't, for example, buy Tesla stock on Sunday. It's weird. Why? Because we can buy Bitcoin, we can buy any meme coin, but why not Tesla? So I think there's going to be some convergence, and maybe in a decade, everything, all financial assets will be on the blockchain. There's not going to be some kind of like new space. I think this is going to be some kind of merge between traditional,
between the traditional and
the new one. So because it's not going to be a revolution, because the asset that existed, they would exist further actually, but the platform for them will be different. It's going to be blockchain, so
it will be blockchain,
and it will give some benefits. There is some pretty obvious benefits, like trading, accessibility. You can
also moving currencies, because today if I have to bring money from my home country to the country I live in, it's a cumbersome process because taxation in different regions are different.
Absolutely.
So with introduction of probably blockchain and cryptocurrency, it's going to be with a snap of fingers, right?
It's a very good point. Actually, I think traditional finance is very ineffective. Like it's incredibly ineffective because you have those it's all actually based on IT technology in all countries, but there is some problem of compatibility. For example, when you transfer rupiah from India to Dubai, it's all digital in a way, but still very ineffective somehow. But it's strange. So there is some problem of being ineffective. There is some inefficiency issue. And what blockchain does, it tries to resolve it.
And I lose money on Forex also, which again blockchain would not, right?
Yes.
I wouldn't lose money on the conversion because then it'll be one global standard, right?
Yes.
How is USDT work?
Yes, more or less, yes. USDT is like a stable coin. It's called Tether. It's pretty old. I've launched some stable coins as well. Not all of them were successful, unfortunately. But Tether is pretty successful, and it allows you to transfer USDT value cross-border, basically. So and also there is a lot of projects around so-called CBDCs, which is central bank digital currencies. In many countries, basically in all countries now.
So why did you in your entrepreneurial journey? You've been around for a while. Why did you choose Dubai?
Great question. Actually, it's some kind of coincidence. Actually, because we launched Waves in Russia. I had lived in Russia for many years. But I'm Ukrainian actually.
Okay.
But I have lived in Russia. But when the situation started with the war, we had an office in Dubai before that, and we just had to. I decided to go out of Russia, and we had an office in Dubai before that, and we just went here, and we came here, and I think we brought a lot of people with us, maybe 100. Developers.
Wow, that's quite a
2
big
years
number.
ago, actually, but most of them left because Dubai is very expensive now.
Yeah.
And not the best place to run a development company here.
Yes, that is why I've heard that most of even I run a tech company. Most of my tech team sits back in India because the cost. Some are in Vietnam as well. It's really cost effective to do that. But tell me, as a startup founder, what are the challenges that you face?
Yeah. We have faced a lot of challenges. I won't go into too much details, but I think what I have learned that you have to stick to your mission. When you try to compromise, usually it doesn't end well. So you have to stick to your initial goals, and when you try to find some middle ground or accept some compromise, it's not working out for you. So you have to be flexible, but there is some limit, that you shouldn't cross.
And what about investment?
Yeah.
Most of the startups, they are looking towards Dubai now because Dubai is investing. They have a fund for they have a AI and Metaverse campus also that they have built at DIFC. So what about investment? What are your thoughts on investment?
Actually, crypto allows you to raise funds in a different way. For example, Waves. So Waves become pretty famous back in 2016 because a lot of startups were raising money on Waves through ICOs, so-called,
What is that?
initial coin offering. It's like IPO but in crypto.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't very good because there was a lot of like bad projects that failed in the end. So for Waves, it was kind of like not so good, I think, in terms of like PR and branding. But at the same time, I wanted to show to people what can be done with crypto technology. So Waze was a platform where you could launch your token in 2 clicks. Now we want to do this with units. You can launch your blockchain in 2 clicks or like in 3. Back in 2016, my idea was to enable this very simple process of launching your own token. So you literally need to make 2 clicks and you have your token.
So the backend is completely managed by Waves and
it's managed by you. It's like decentralized, so it's like fully decentralized and it's your token.
Okay.
And you still can do that. You can still. I think Waves still is the simplest platform for launching your token.
to launch it.
Yeah. So, as for this investment question, basically, startups in crypto have access to maybe global capital, because they can raise funds on the blockchain. So they do work with VCs, for example. Almost all crypto startups now work with VCs. But they can also do without, because they have a huge community of people worldwide. And if you get them interested, you can actually raise funds directly from the community.
Yeah, I think that's a better way and more stable way.
Yes.
Because you're not giving a chunk of your company to a VC. To a VC.
Absolutely.
So wrapping up this whole interesting conversation, I'm sure the audience got a great insight into the blockchain technology and a little bit of what tokens are. What would be your advice to any new startup, especially the Gen Z and Gen Alpha audience who's very eager to come into this space, but I also feel that they don't have that experience. So they, just crash. What would your advice be?
I think this is a great opportunity right now because, as I said, we are witnessing the beginning of mass adoption of blockchain technology. And there is like a lot of different sectors and areas that are going to be disrupted soon.
Totally.
I mentioned ride sharing, I mentioned like loyalty programs, and it's just starting. So you can basically pick any area and try to disrupt it using blockchain technology. And there's also AI now, because if you combine it with AI, which can be a great combination actually, and it's just starting. You can combining blockchain and AI, it's just starting. You can really disrupt so many different areas. So you just have to come up with a business model, understand how you can disrupt this particular area, and do it.
Excellent. Because you missed out on the AI question, I'll just ask you an AI
Sure.
question.
Yeah.
So, you have been working in the technology space for a while, and AI, though now it's become a buzzword, has been around for the past decade or so. So what has been your experience with AI?
Yeah, I actually follow AI pretty closely because I was doing AI for a while, but 10 years ago, actually, before this hype. But your listeners actually should understand that AI has existed for decades by now. Yeah.
And what is the simplest explanation of AI? Like we use...
it just exploded recently because of like progress in hardware. We just didn't have this hardware before. Those like graphic cards, they're like amazing. And they have changed everything. But AI is like, what AI does now, it enhances humanity basically, because it takes human knowledge and it builds on it and it like creates new knowledge, So it's just like, AI is like us. It's not something alien. It's not some evil robots, Actually, maybe it can happen in the future. But for now, AI is just like our knowledge, but like enhanced. And
absolutely, that's the simplest way to talk about AI. And so I'm assuming you're an AI supporter. What, if at all a company has to start, what is the simplest way to integrate AI technology in your day-to-day?
It depends on your business. There's like, for example, there is probably heard about LLM. It's called like abbreviation. It's large language models.
Okay.
And there's also like small language models actually. And what they do, they, for example, take all the internal documentation of your company, and they train the neural networks using your documentation, and they can give answers, for example, based on their documentation. So you can just ask any question related to the business of your company, for example, your customer, and you don't need any support anymore. It probably is not good for support people.
Right.
But on the other hand, maybe they can do something better. People who just like answer the calls and just give the same template replies. They can do
Even
some
chatbots, I think
yes.
chatbots are doing, AI chatbots are doing the rounds these days. I mean, the only AI I use is ChatGPT because it's very easily available. DALL-E is very easily available to create.
Yes. And it's just starting as well. So now we have a chatbot that can interact with customers. But in the future, we have not only language models, but like general intelligence, which is a very big thing.
I just saw a Microsoft video where, there was video chatting also available with the AI. So, I mean, I think we're just starting this whole process. And
Because
there's a
now
lot to
AI
do.
needs like our data, it needs like our language to think. But the next step is to create general AI, so it doesn't need human input, It will come up, it will just analyze the reality in its own way, and it will be smarter than humans.
Wow.
But it will work for the humans.
But it will work for humans, yes.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. So thank you so much. Thank you, Sasha, for being here.
Thank you very much.
It was a really interesting conversation, and I hope our audience also got to learn a lot more about technology today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Subscribe now and join us on this beautiful journey.